Good afternoon and welcome to the HBDC meeting of August 5th. This is Darcy Sequin. I will be chairing the meeting today. Please note this meeting is being recorded and will be available shortly hereafter for scheduled and on-demand viewing on any smartphone and tablet device. If anyone else is recording the meeting, please notify me. Thank you. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 18, and the Governor's March 23, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place, this meeting of the Historic Business District Commission is being conducted via remote participation. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings as provided for in the order. A reminder that persons who would like to listen to this meeting while in progress may do so by calling the phone number 1-508-945-4410. Despite our best efforts, we may not be able to provide the real-time access, and we will post a record of this meeting on the town's website as soon as possible. Now I will do a roll call. Please say present. Hopefully you're all here. Sam Streiber.
Present.
Doug Grattan.
Present.
Bob Burns.
Present.
Steve DeBoer.
Here.
Okay, Jackson Smith and Dan Silver are absent today. So the first item on the agenda is the minutes. Does anybody have anything?
I'd like to make a motion. We accept the minutes as presented.
Okay, Doug Grattan made a motion. Do I have a second?
Yes, second.
Sam Streiber, second. Please state your name when you're making motions. That would be great. And I help Sarah out a lot. Okay, what is the first item on the agenda? Oh, I'm sorry. We need a vote. Sorry. Sam, in favor or opposed?
Yes, in favor.
Doug?
Doug Grattan in favor.
Bob Burns?
Bob Burns in favor.
Steve DeBoer?
In favor.
And Darcy's in favor. All approved. Okay, first item on the agenda, Sam.
First item on the agenda is the signs, 2020-059 touchdown closing escrow care of Jack O'Donohue. Application to install a wall sign on the structure located at 400 Main Street.
Okay, I don't believe he's here yet, Sarah, correct?
I'm here right now on the phone. Can
you
hear me?
Are here. Okay, great.
Yep.
All
Sorry,
right.
I just had some trouble logging in.
No, that's okay. So go ahead and tell us what you'd like to do.
So it's and we have the temporary approval for it. It's a wall mounted sign, and we had gone through it, I think, at the last meeting for the temporary approval. So everything's up right now. It's featured, and I think it looks great.
Okay, does any of the members have anything they'd like to add to this or discuss?
Doug Grattan does not.
Sam Streiber has no questions. Burns, no questions.
And Steve DeBoer, no questions.
And Darcy has no questions. Would someone like to make a motion?
I'll make the motion to
Sam, please state your name.
Sam Streiber will make the motion to approve 20-059 touchdown closing escrow care of Jack O'Donnell. Application to install a wall sign on the structure located at 400 Main Street.
Do I have a second?
Doug Grattan will second the motion.
Okay, is there any further discussion or anyone from the audience would like to say anything else? Okay, hearing none. You ready to vote? Sam Streiber.
Sam Streiber approves.
Doug Grattan.
Doug Grattan in favor.
Bob Burns.
Bob Burns approved.
Steve DeBoer,
Steve DeBoer is in favor.
and Darcy is in favor. All approved. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you all for your time and consideration. Appreciate
right.
it.
Good luck with everything.
Thank you. We're loving it so far. Good luck.
Great. Okay, what's next, Sam?
Next sign is 20-062 K Beauty Studio, care of Cat Sierra. Again, application to replace the ground sign located at 2350 Main Street. And I want to add that the sign coordinator has reviewed the application and has made the determination that the size of signs are compliant with what was approved by the Zoning Board of Appeals under Appeal Permit Number 19-006. So that this is in accordance with that, and that's the application.
Okay. If you would introduce yourself and tell us what you'd like to do.
Good evening. My name is Katerina Sajin, and thank you very much for taking your time reviewing my application. As Mr. Sam mentioned, it is really there's no change in size of the sign, but I want to change the design and the background color from white to black. Because I think it will just read more. I do have lots of white fence and the building is white and the sign is white, so everything blurs in between. I worked with designers and I developed a new logo, more enhanced, more appealing. I like it more. I'm also offering new services I would like people to know about. So the sign is the same. The logo has changed a little bit. The background of the color is black instead of white. And just a couple of new services will be featured on the latter sign.
Okay, Sam, do you have any questions?
Well, no, I think this is totally appropriate. Often people use very light pastel colors as backgrounds with white letters, and you can't see anything. It's completely illegible. So I would assume that that's a case here. Often people do a white background with the pink letters. That's a little more possible, especially if the pink goes hotter a little bit. But in this case, you're asking for black background. That will help people understand what your services are. So I'm good with it.
Okay, thank you, Sam. Doug?
Doug, I have no questions. I think it looks great.
Bob
Thank
Burns?
you.
Oh.
Katrina, one question on facial rejuvenation. Has that been, has the sign been made yet?
No, the sign hasn't been made. Yes.
Oh, okay,
It's misspelled.
because rejuvenation, I make sure the spelling is correct there.
Yeah, I gave it to my husband and he just, yes. Done correct, grammatically appropriate with the J, yes.
Okay, I just looked at that and I thought maybe it's done, not done yet, but that's good. I think it looks great, so much improved.
Thank you very much.
Steve DeBoer?
I think it's a good idea. It should make it a little bit more visible than what's there now. So I think it's a good idea.
I agree with everyone too. I go by there all the time and it does kind of fade into the wind a little bit. So the black is going to be very outstanding for you. I think it's great.
Thank you very much.
Okay, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion for application 20-062 K Beauty Studio, care of Katerina Sajin. Application to replace the ground sign located at 2350 Main Street, and this is Doug Grattan.
Hey, do I have a second?
Second, Sam Streiber.
Okay, does anyone in the audience have anything to say, or is there any further discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor?
Aye, Sam Stryber.
Okay,
Doug
Doug?
Ratton, approve.
Bob
Bob?
Burns approved.
Steve?
Steve DeBoer approves.
And Darcy approves. All right, good luck with everything. Thank you very much.
How soon can I put it in?
Sarah? I think you have the go-ahead. Sarah, are you there?
Okay.
Yes, so we'll issue the sign permit once the certificate of appropriateness is signed off. It'll be fine, and you should be good to go.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
problem.
good luck.
Everyone.
Thank you. Okay, Sam, what's next on the agenda?
Okay, additions, alterations, 20-060 Cindy Stearns, care of Southern New England Windows. Application to replace 4 windows on the structure located at 222 Main Street.
You skipped over
Sam, I
Pate's
believe
Restaurant.
Pate's is next.
Yeah, Pates is next.
Oh, I skipped it. I'm sorry. This is a sign for 20-063 Pate's Restaurant, care of Signorama. Application to install a wall sign located at 1216 Main Street.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Peter Swiderski. I'm with Sinorama. Pate's Restaurant. They would like to, I guess, a little background history. I guess the original owner had an awning over the entrance to the restaurant. They have taken, which also had the name on painted on the awning. The current owner has taken that down, and they're asking to hand paint a sign on the wall, on the brick wall of the restaurant. I guess there's a separate application in the works as far as the whitewashing of the brick wall. I'm here today just to talk about the actual painting of the letters Pate's Food and Drink. We would be using the Benjamin Moore Marine Blue, again applied to the brick wall. It would be hand painted letters. And I guess the total square footage of the sign on the wall represents about 3.5% of the total allowable signage.
Okay, any discussion? Sam Stryber.
Well, this is not a good, well, first, since you haven't painted the brick white yet, so now it's black lettering. What will happen will be black lettering painted on the brick surface, or will you wait until you get approval on the background before you paint the
No, we will not go forward until they actually get the approval to whitewash the brick.
I see. Okay, it's a little better. I'm a little. It looks a little forced. If you want my actual, it's a symmetrical wall, and it's all on one side. It's not near the entrance. The entrance is. I think the entrance looks a little weak with those huge lamps. But would I approve it? Because it's basically terribly simple. I'm gonna wait to hear after I hear the rest of the membership.
Sarah, can I just ask you a quick question? On the application, it does say paint the red brick facade white. Now, is there?
They need a
Yes,
separate application for an additional
Okay,
alteration
so they
on
didn't
that.
put it in. Okay, all right, got it.
I was not aware that Sarah had informed me, and I spoke to the owners and informed them that they had to apply for a separate application to paint the wall, the brick white.
Okay. All right, so going forward, let's, I don't want to assume anything, but there will be an application to paint that brick wall white. Okay, so Doug, do you have anything to say?
If they paint the wall white and they have the sign, I think it would benefit having a border around it. But again, my thought, that would be, the owner's own discretion. But other than that, I'm fine with it.
Bob Burns?
Yeah, one question. The building looks different when I drive by it. I see shutters on some windows. The brick wall, does the brick wall have a window?
Yes.
Yeah, as far as to my knowledge, it does. Yes, that's. I mean, we took a picture of the building prior to them doing anything.
Prior to the renovation.
Right.
And then is the around the door, is that brick? The front entrance?
Yes, I believe, yes, and they want to paint around the door white as well. Correct.
I guess I'm okay with it. Sort of looks a little bit out of bounds, but as Doug said, maybe a border. That's my only comment. I just think it looks very, very plain.
Sure.
Okay, Steve?
If you could just give me a minute, I got to wait for the biplane to go over. To me, I guess I think it's a little minimalistic also, and maybe it doesn't really draw you to the door to go in. I think there should be something closer to the entranceway, and maybe something done to make it look more like the sign that's out by the road. I don't know. I think something better can be done.
I kind of agree with everyone. I think it should be dressed up a little bit. Are the lights staying?
I don't know. I can't answer that question.
Okay. All right. My suggestion would be to enhance it somehow, like Doug suggested, a border or something like that. Do you think they would be opposed to that?
This was their design. I mean, I can certainly suggest that to them. I personally don't have a problem adding a border, around it. I think they would accept that.
Okay, since you have to come back for the painting, I was wondering if we could continue this application and do both of them together. Maybe perhaps you can come back with something that has a little more enhancement to it. What do you think? What does everybody else think? Sam, what do you think about that?
Yes, I think we should continue this to so the whole, we take the whole facade together, and then we can address the lights.
Yeah, there's no carts in the front.
We can. Hello. So I'm.
Yeah, sorry. It's just some stupid conservation call.
No.
Sorry, if you're not the applicant or a member, please remember to mute yourself if you're not speaking.
Sarah.
I'm not. I'd like to suggest that the Pate's Food and Drink be made smaller because it's crowding the window and the side. It really does look. It was unbalanced. If you could come up with something for the other side, it would then make the windows all a strip across the front and tend to unify everything. Certainly putting a border would make you would have to shrink the lettering and the food and drink a little bit so that the border had a little space around it, or otherwise it'll be too crowded. So I think the whole facade has to be taken into consideration in this case. So that's my.
I just have a question for Sarah. Do they have to come before Pate's? Do they have to come before this board for the painting?
Yes, they do.
Oh, they do. Okay.
We have not received a filing yet, so
Oh, really?
if
Okay.
if the board and I haven't checked the box yet this afternoon or late this afternoon. What I would suggest to the commission, if they choose to do this, is continuing to September 2nd in order for them to have adequate time to redesign if necessary and make application for any other exterior changes they're proposing on the building.
That would include lighting. If they decide to change that too, we could do that all at once.
They could do that all under an additional alteration application.
Okay. All right. Doug, would you agree to a continuation?
Yes, Doug Grattan would.
Bob Burns,
Yes, continuation, Bob Burns.
Steve DeBoer?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea to September 2nd.
Okay, I will need a motion to continue until September 2nd.
Doug Grattan will make a motion for application 20-063 Pates Restaurant, care of Cinerama, to continue till September 2nd with this application.
I'll need a second from someone.
Second, Sam Stryber.
Okay, all in favor? Sam,
Aye, Sam Stryber.
Doug,
Doug Grattan, aye.
Bob Burns,
Bob Burns, aye.
Steve DeBoer,
Steve DeBoer, aye.
and Darcy Sequin. Aye. Okay, thank you. Looking
Thank
forward
you.
to see you in September.
All righty, thank you.
Okay, we're at additions, alterations, 20-60, Cindy Stearns, care of Southern New England Windows, application to replace 4 windows on the structure located at 2022 Main Street.
Chris Hudson from Renewal by Anderson, representing Cindy Stearns.
Okay, tell us what you'd like to do.
They're proposing to replace 4 windows like for like on the front side of Marion's Pie Shop. There you see on the combination unit underneath the awning, double hung picture, double hung windows, all white exterior with colonial grills on the double hungs, no grills on the picture window. And then right alongside the front of the shop, in between the main house, there's a little window tucked away labeled Unit 107. That's also a double hung with 6/6 colonial grills. We'll be replacing that like for like as well.
Are these removable grills?
Currently they are. They're proposing to go to grills between the glass so they cannot come out.
Good. Okay, any questions? Sam?
Yeah, so
Sam Stryber.
Sam Stryber, this is, I have a question. So we're only replacing 3 double hung windows, is that correct?
3 double hung windows and 1 picture window in the center.
Oh, and the picture window, and they're all going to be exactly alike,
Correct.
as before.
Yep.
Matching.
Yeah, you got the
Like
6/6 colonial and all 3 double hungs and open glass, no grills in the picture window.
Right, right. Okay, well, no, I have no questions about that. That'll be fine.
Okay, Doug?
Doug Grattan has no questions.
Bob Burns?
Bob Burns, no questions.
Steve DeBoer?
Steve DeBoer, I'm just wondering if it's going to add a little work, but if the siding can be cut back so that you can get some casing around the windows and a sill underneath them. The rest of the structure has casing 1x5 around the windows that are there, and these are the only ones that don't. So I'm just wondering if you can cut that casing back, or excuse me, cut the siding back and add casing and sills under these windows.
It's not impossible. I think the concern for the store owners was that if we add trim, it's going to impose on the signage next to the window. As you can see, there's really not a heck of a lot of room between the edge of the window and the signage on the right side where it says well-behaved children welcome, Marion's winter hours, etc. If we add a 1x5 casing, now they're going to have to introduce something in the way of a narrower sign, or it'll kind of be off kilter a little bit having to mount half of it on the trim and half not.
Steve, you okay with that?
Well, I mean, I see the situation, but I just think it would be more appropriate to have some casing around those windows in the sill. I mean, we make everybody else do it, so.
My take on this is it's pre-existing trim. So to go ahead and make them change the trim at this point, I'm not sure. I'm okay with the windows the way they are, but that's up to everybody else. Somebody wants to have a further discussion about this or make a motion.
Sam Stryber would, it looks like when I look at the other window that's being replaced, this is a vinyl siding, is it not?
I don't.
It's either vinyl or aluminum siding because you have a J molding is what is constraining, is acting like the trim. And yeah, keep working on it. There. So I don't know if there are any other windows or doors that are not, that are in the building that we're not replacing and will still have the J-track as the trim over the end of the aluminum or.
To the best of my recollection, the restaurant section is kind of in and of itself attached to the home, so that I don't think the other windows are the same age, and they do have the trim, whereas these are the narrow line new construction Andersons with the slimline frame and no trim. I mean, I don't. The concept was to be as simplistic with the install as possible, and the plan was to do insert replacements while maintaining the profile that exists.
Well, it'd be nicer if it matched the home. I can shoot, but the home doesn't have vinyl siding on it, does it?
I don't believe so.
So I think while it's still vinyl siding, if they ever went to match the home that it attaches to, then maybe at that point they would replace the vinyl siding.
Oh, sure. I would imagine if they have or ever do have the intention to strip the siding and go to something natural in the way of clapboard or shingle, then doing an exterior casing and sill would be appropriate.
Okay, does anybody else have anything to say? Further discussion on this? Okay,
I'll
hearing
make a
none.
motion.
Go ahead, Doug.
Doug Grant will make a motion for application 20-060, Cindy Stearns, care of Southern New England Windows, application to replace 4 windows on the structure located at 2022 Main Street as presented.
Do I have a second, please? Second, anybody? Nobody?
Bob Burns, second.
Thank you. Further discussion? Anyone in the audience? Hearing none. Oh, Sam Stryber,
Approved, Sam Stryber.
Doug Grattan,
Doug Grattan approved.
Bob Burns,
Bob Burns approved.
Steve DeBoer,
Steve DeBoer, approve.
Darcy approves. Okay, thank you very much.
So the next addition alteration is 20-61, Kevin O'Brien, care of Southern New England Windows. Application to replace 7 windows on the dwelling located at 50 Victoria Drive.
Chris Hudson, renewal by Anderson of Southern New England again. On this particular application, I'll be filling in for a colleague of mine who was attending another historic meeting at the same time in a different town. But I do have all the files and I'm here to answer any questions about the job.
Okay, you want to tell us where these replacement windows are going, please?
So we have replacing the combination unit double hung picture double hung as illustrated on the side of the house. And then
Is that the west elevation?
I can't tell. I've never been to this
Okay.
home, as I mentioned, I'm filling. But as you see as we look at the front elevation of the house on the right side, you'll see a double hung combo unit.
Yeah.
It should be included in the photos as well as on its own. I don't know how many photos you have that were submitted.
I think we're good. If did everybody go by and see where it was?
And then there are 3 windows, double hung windows on the second floor to be replaced like for like as well. And then on the rear of the house, there is a double casement over a kitchen sink with no grills, also being proposed to replace like for like.
Okay. All right, Sam?
I have no problems with this. It be totally improved, I believe.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
I have no problems with this proposal. And so I think it'll be improved.
Somebody's got some background noise that's interfering with my mic. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you, yeah.
All right, great. Doug
Doug Grattan, no questions.
Burns,
Bob Burns, no questions.
Steve DeBoer,
Steve DeBoer, no questions.
and Darcy has no questions. Do I have a motion?
Doug Grattan will make a motion for application 20-061, Kevin O'Brien, care of Southern New England Windows. Application to replace 7 windows on the dwelling located at 50 Victoria Drive as presented.
Do I have a second?
Bob Burns, second.
Further discussion? Anyone in the audience? All right, ready to vote. Sam Stryber,
Approves, Sam Stryber.
Doug Grattan,
Doug Grattan approves.
Bob Burns,
Bob Burns approves.
Steve DeBoer,
Steve DeBoer approves.
Darcy approves. All right, thank you very much.
All right, thank you all for your assistance and your time.
I think Sam left us for a second here. Here we go.
I just dropped a pack of paper.
Okay, what's next?
20-064 Roger Ling, care of Next Grid Hazelnut LLC. Application to install 350 solar panels on the structure located at 150 Enterprise Drive.
Hey, welcome.
Hi, this is Luke representing NextGrid.
I'm sorry,
So-
state your name again, please.
My name's Luke. I'm representing for NextGrid.
Okay. All right, what would you like to do?
So we're proposing to put solar panels on 150 Enterprise. They're roof mounted. They'll be about 1.5 inches off the roof. You wouldn't even be able to visibly see the panels unless.
Go ahead.
So that's just what we're proposing. 350 panels. They're all roof mounted. They're a very low profile and not visible from the street or anywhere else except for the roof.
Okay, so this is pretty flat roof, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost flat.
Right, so they'll be just elevated, what did you say, 1.5 inches?
They'll be 1.5 inches off the roof, correct.
Okay,
We'll be using a standing seam clamp. It's going to grab right onto the seam and the panels will be right above that.
okay. All right. Sam? Do you have anything to say? Can't hear you, Sam. You're muted. You're muted.
Man,
There you go. All
did-
set.
I don't know, somebody muted me. Anyway, I think the only thing that I have a little discomfort with is the amount of stuff mounted on the face of the building. But I don't know whether it's all new things or is just the part between the doors the new thing.
So the only new stuff would be to the left-hand side on that picture that you see there. Will be 2 inverters, a main panel, a meter socket, and a disconnect. And if you would like, we could move those inverters to the roof to get a few things off of the side of the building if you like. So at the far left, you'll see 2 inverters that are there. Those 2 all the way to the far left, we could move to the roof if you would like.
Okay, well, how high are those?
So they'll be about, the center of them will be about 6 feet.
I think they're better on the side of the building than sticking up as a 6-foot item on the top.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. You're saying projecting off the roof if we put them on the roof?
Yeah.
It would be about 18 inches.
Still, we have all these flat panels, which you're saying will just be on top of, we have no profile base, basically. So I think they're in a collection of utility things, and so I'm okay with that.
Okay.
And the fact that this is going on this roof, the Enterprise Drive does go down into a hollow, and if you were on any of the back of any of the buildings that face the hollow, you'd see the panels. Now, the panels themselves, do they have? Are they all black?
They're basically all black. There is a couple of silver streaks in them, like all the panels do.
Well, okay.
It's in a very industrial area. It's a
Yes,
silver roof to begin with.
I'm aware of that aspect of it too.
Yeah.
So
it's a silver roof. It's a very, very industrial area, and there is some silver streaks in the panel, but they're predominantly black. You'd have to be right up on them to see any silver in the panels.
I would disagree with you there, but as I said, because it's on a roof, it's in very shallow to mounting. The mounting is very shallow to the roof, so I have no problem with it.
Doug?
Doug Grattan has no problem with it.
Bob Burns?
Bob Burns, no problem.
Steve?
Steve DeBoer, no questions.
And Darcy has no questions. My take on this too is that it's industrial. I don't think you're going to see any of the things on the side. You might see them when you drive down that long driveway, but other than that, I'm okay with everything. Okay, so do we have a vote, or I'm sorry, a motion?
Doug Grattan will make a motion for application 20-064, Roger Ling, care of Next Grid Hazelnut LLC. Application to install 350 solar panels on the structure located at 150 Enterprise Drive as presented.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thanks.
Further discussion? Anyone from the audience? All in favor?
Aye. Sam Stryber.
Doug Grattan, aye.
Bob Burns, aye.
Steve?
Steve DeBoer, aye.
Darcy says aye. All right.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your help today. Have a good day, guys.
All right, you too. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
So now we have one more addition alteration, 20-065. Steve Poskanzer, care of Cotuit Solar, application to install 33 solar panels on the structure located at 169 Stony Hill Road. Do we have the applicant?
Welcome. Are you here?
This is Dave Berczewski, representing Cotuit Solar and Steve Poskanzer.
There we go.
Okay, great. Thank you. Go ahead, tell us what you'd like.
30, I'm sorry. Yeah, so it's 33 panels. They're all black panels. I'm not sure I provided a sample of the panels. I could do a screen share if you'd want to see them, but they're on all black panel. They are on the front of the roof, as shown on this second page in the configuration shown. And there are some street views provided from the third page. These will have micro inverters on them, so there aren't different from the previous applicant. Those are string inverters that mount on the side of the building. microinverters mount underneath the panels themselves. So there's nothing on the side of the building relative to that.
That's great.
There would be a swing arm disconnect. That's a safety requirement for fire departments. That has to be on the side of the building. It's a small box. It's about 12 inches long and 12 inches wide type of thing. And a meter, a smart meter, so a second utility meter. So it's effectively it. That would be located where the meter is today, and I'm not quite sure where that is, but that would likely be on one of the sides of the building.
Okay. All right. Does anyone have anything to say? Sam?
Yes, so I just want to clarify, because one of your pictures that shows the panels from the top, that's right, that inset on the top. The panels are actually facing south. Is that not correct?
Yeah, yes. Not on the back of the building there.
That picture is reversed in some way.
I think you're talking about the first page, perhaps. That one is a little.
I'm talking about the picture that's showing right now on the screen.
Yeah.
And that insert. Excuse me?
I think it's an accurate depiction. Those are on the where the arrows point to, which is the front side of the building.
It looks like the south side.
Right. I'm saying that inset picture is reversed and upside down. So.
Oh, the inset. Yeah.
Or it's just upside down. Whatever it is, it's misleading, because it looks like the panels are on the north side of the panel of the book.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. It is a strange view. I'll give you that.
But the panels are actually on the roofs that face the parking lot. Correct. Okay. And I'm okay. I'm okay with this application. I think it's consistent with a lot of the other small businesses in town, and so that's my comment.
Okay. Thank you, Sam. Doug?
Doug Grattan, no questions?
Bob?
Yeah, I just get, these are going to be they're going to be highly visible from the street. So they're not in the Enterprise Park, but they're highly visible on Stony Hill. And I think they're highly visible from the neighbors on Shane Drive, because that goes right in there. So there's 3 homes on Shane Drive that are going to be looking directly at these panels when they're in the front yard. That's my only concern.
I'm not sure that we have a choice in this situation, right, Sarah? I mean, it's facing south. There would be no other way they could put them.
No, there's no other way to put them, but they're very low. That low roof line is pretty low.
I don't think we can deny a solar installation. Correct me if I'm wrong. Sarah?
For zoning purposes, you can reasonably restrict, but you cannot deny it as part of Mass General Law to allow for alternative energy sources.
Right.
That's my understanding as well.
Yeah. Steve?
I think it's a good idea. I'm just wondering that the panels themselves are black, but is the mounting grid black, or is in the picture it looks like it's silver or gray?
The mounting rails are a silver rail. Those are all underneath the panels, and they're recessed about, I would say, 4 inches from the end. So the rails would not be visible of the panels. Maybe the ends of the rails might protrude out. So there will be the rail on that view would be on the length of the building. I guess when I say horizontal, that makes sense relative to the picture. Mm-hmm. But those would not be visible because they'd be underneath the modules, the panels themselves. So that you have the rail system, and then the modules clamp onto the rails and basically obstruct any view of the rails themselves.
Okay.
And based on that angle, you wouldn't be able to see up and underneath either.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, do I have a motion?
Doug Grattan will make a motion for application 20-065, Steve Postganzer, care of Katuitt Solar, application to install 33 solar panels on the structure located at 169 Stony Hill Road as presented.
Do I have a second? Please.
Sam Stryber.
You guys make me plead for a second here. Okay, any further discussion? Anyone from the audience? Okay, hearing none. Ready to vote. Sam,
Sam approves, Sam Stryber approves.
Doug,
Doug Grattan approves.
Bob Burns,
Burns approves.
Steve,
Steve DeBoer approves.
Darcy approves. Okay, anything else? Sam?
It's, there's no other, that's the end of the application. I move that we adjourn.
Okay, hold on one second. I assume that nothing has come in. It looks like we will not have a meeting.
Darcy, there is one
Oh, there is.
application. Yeah.
Okay.
For, it looks like windows at 447 Main Street.
Okay, all right. I guess we'll see you all in 2 weeks. Go ahead, Sam, make your motion.
I move that we adjourn.
Doug Grattan will second that motion.
Thank you, Doug. All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, we need a motion, right?
We need a roll call.
Roll call, okay.
Sam Stryber approves.
Doug,
Doug Grattan approves.
Bob,
Burns approves.
Steve,
Steve DeBoer approves.
Darcy approves. Good
We
night,
are
all.
adjourned at 5:18 p.m.
Thank you very much.